Buongiorno from Abruzzo and welcome into the Pepe kitchen. I'm Chiara.
Sono Charlie.
And we're going to prepare a recipe for you today based upon all the produces that are grown onto the Emidio Pepe farm.
So we're going to make chickpeas with salt cod. Now this dish takes far too long to cook into preparation, but we're 24 hours of soaking the chickpeas. Simply put in water, we cover to the top, maybe leaving 2 or 3 inches. I put 2 bay leaves and then a garlic clove. And then put on a low simmer for 3 hours. You check after 2 hours, after an hour. Once they're tender with a bit of crunch, they're perfetto. Okay, as we're cooking chickpeas, the other thing that needs soaking is salt cod. First of all, we cut down the salt cod into pieces that fit into a container like so. When you first put it in, you taste the water, you realize very quickly how salty it is. It's pure now.
Yeah.
So we know it's ready after the water is pure. Once that's done, the chickpeas are done, we can start cooking. The ingredients, obviously we've talked about the salt cod, we've talked about the chickpeas. Other than that, we're using a passata. Onions, I like to use half an onion per person. So it seems like a lot, but obviously we're going to sweat these down. Okay, so onions in pan, lots of olive oil. And now we're just going to sweat it down. Never on a high heat, we just let it go on a medium heat. In the meantime, we need to put the tomato, the passata.
Could you also use fresh tomatoes?
No, I think because it's winter.
All right.
There were no
Respect
fresh
seasons.
tomatoes. Yeah. And there's no salt, there's no pepper. All we're trying to do is reduce the sauce down. Chiara, why don't you open some wine?
Oh, I can go do that.
Salt cod's a special thing to do. We have to wait 24 hours to soak it. I think we should make something else with it. So we're going to make a brandade. We cook brandade, it means we have to cook salt cod in milk. The aroma that comes off milk when cooked with peppercorns, bay leaf, onion and salt cod is just hedonistic. Our first lovely chunk of salt cod, and then we simply fill with milk. And then we're going to gently bring it up to a slow simmer. Okay, so this has now been poaching for 3 or 4 minutes. Starting to flake, I think that's ready. Onions are now starting to get caramelizey. At this moment, I'm obsessed with vinegar, so I always add vinegar. You don't have to, I just love vinegar. Once the vinegar has bubbled off the onions, I'm going to place everything together in the same saucepan together. So tomatoes can go in, and then we can add our onions. Okay, so we're going to turn it on a medium heat and just start to cook it down slightly. The cod is nice and cool, so we can handle it. There's a lot of bones in cod which we need to remove. Just with our hands, we go through it, take the backbone out, and we're going to add our flaked salt cod. Always do it by hand and check for any more bones. This we reserve for the brandade. Once this is all put together, I'm going to put a large glug of oil. Give it a good stir. Water's boiling, salt, obviously, a nice pinch, don't be shy. And then the Mezzi.
By the way, we call those Mezzi Paccheri.
Scusa. Okay, so now we're going to quickly assemble the brandade. Add a nice handful of your salt cod. We're ready to start adding our oil. It's like a mayonnaise, so we're just going to drizzle it in. When everything's nicely broken down, then we're going to add the milk. With the milk, we're going to get a smoothness. So I'm pretty happy with that, at which point I'm going to give it a good squeeze of lemon. Mix that in, and just because we have so much of it, and it's delicious, another good drizzle of Emidio Pepe olive oil. Okay, so the pasta is done. I've taken the pan that was off the heat back onto the heat, and we're going to heat that through and add the pasta. We give it a good stir. Let's chop some parsley. As always, more oil. A very small pinch of salt, and I think we're ready. I love the way the tomato and the olive oil all amalgamates into this rich sauciness. The brandade on a piece of tartine.
Oh, incredible.
On the side. È pronto!
Amazing! So this is our recipe that we're happy to share with our friends at Issimo. And salute!
Salute!